So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I trust everybody is doing well. Once again, welcome to our Saturday session, the Q&A. We do this once a month at the beginning of the month. Here we call our practitioner, have them come and share their experience and their journey with us, and then that way we learn. Also, we have another one which we take on the third Saturday of the month. We get practitioners to come in, we get to meet them, then they talk about interesting things that they are doing. So they'll pick a particular product area and then share with us. There's a lot of new and fantastic products that are coming into the ServiceNow market. So they could tell us what they're building, what they're not, and then give us a demo. The demo is really the key there, so that we can see it. Many of these are applications or a suite of applications. That way, once you come in and see it being done, you can ask your questions. That way we can have our practitioners answer them. I remember everyone is co-sharing and co-learning. So, the question, there's a lot of support. So no one, no question is wrong or no dumb question. Just ask the question. We'll try as much as possible to, to get that question answered. And then, like we said, we have a great panelist there that will help. So again, after each session, we would actually share the practitioner's information so that way you can actually get to connect with them. You can connect via LinkedIn, you can connect via email. There's a lot of ways you can do that, grow the community. It's all part of what we do. Also, there's a lot of the PDI. ServiceNow, it's now early access for Zurich. So go, you can upgrade your PDI, make sure that you're able to actually share, you're able to actually upgrade to the Zurich release and then test a lot of the applications or changes that are being made into the system. And then that way you can actually also learn a thing or two and then try it out. Remember that sandbox or the personal development instance is your own environment, your own design environment where you go and build stuff, create stuff, whether it's workflows, whether it's, simulate process, process area, whether you're, building out catalog items or whatever it is. The only big difference with that and your workplace would be your workplace, they are paying for it. Yours is free. Go break it, right? If you are having issues, reboot it, let it go, get a new one. It's all for you. There's no difference. The difference is maybe your company's buying more products or more suites of products, so they will have a lot of applications that they will have different stakeholders that need to support for the most part. But it's the same thing. But it's the same interface or user experience. So just as an FYI. Also, just a heads up that after the session, we have the recording. We would be sharing that also with all of our members in the community. So don't hesitate. Put your questions in the chat. You can raise your hand. We'll get those questions. We'll be going through. We do have, a set of questions that we use to kick us off. And then that way, it's really, we're all in this journey together. So thank you, Alex, for being here. We have our practitioner. He was, number one. So we'll go ahead and kick us off from there. Alex, over to you. So the question we used to start is, tell us, your elevator pitch, a high-level summary of yourself, a bit about you, so that way we can get to meet you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and good afternoon or good evening, everybody. My name is Alex Akaolisah. I have been in these sessions a few times, and this session has been one of the reasons why I keep coming back to, I keep taking my ServiceNow, my tech journey very serious, because, journeying through, your career and making the switch to tech, it's not a very straightforward approach, and you find yourself in a make and break situation. So sessions like this and systems like this that people have, taken time to build keeps you grounded and keeps you coming back to remembering the reason why you started. So thank you for sessions like this. Yes, a little about me. My training is in engineering, even up till master's degree, and my experience up until a few years ago has been in engineering, even up until last year, I have to say. So I moved to Canada in 2022, but before then, my career has been in the oil and gas in Nigeria. And I would say my career has not been very interesting because of the shift situation that I have always been. I've always done 12-hour shifts and rotation based. So if you're in Nigeria, you would be familiar with those guys that would always go offshore and then come back. It was fun until you would need time for personal effects. And moving to Canada, I find that that situation does not quite fit into my career aspirations. So, and I was a little bit back to a corner in the sense that the jobs that I could get immediately was based off of my experience, and that my experience could not suffice to get me anything, that would afford me the time that I needed for personal life. So I was stuck in my own definition of stuck for a bit. I needed to do something about it. That was when I started branching off to tech, started looking for alternatives. And to kick me off with that, I was lucky to get into the Rise Up program with ServiceNow in 2024. That was last year. So the story about how I finished that program was really actually interesting because as at the time I was still doing my 12-hour shifts, then I was working in Grand Prairie in Alberta in Canada. I would go to work and some of my shifts did clash with the timing for the meetings for the Rise Up program. But because I knew how important it was for me and how it was going to be instrumental for me to switch to tech and to bargain for more time in my career life, I had to like put my foot down and not give up essentially. So you'd find that I would some of the classes I took them in awkward situations. So you have to do anything essentially to make it work. So needless to say, I got it finished. And the next step for me was to either get a job or get something doing, at least an internship. So the latter was the case for me. I joined Customizo, which is one of the prime partners of ServiceNow, for an internship for 4 months. After the internship, they contacted me if I could do part-time support for them. And that coincided with the time where I got a data analyst position as well in Vancouver. So yeah, currently I am a data analyst in Vancouver and still doing some form of support for ServiceNow as a ServiceNow technical consultant for Customizo. That is a little bit about me, about how far I have come. And I have to say that most times, the way you think your career would go, it's not usually the case. So, when you see people that have made the switch or that are living the life that you want, you would think that your story is going to like mirror their journey, but most of the time you find that your story is very unique and you have to trust that something would come out at the end of that tunnel. So yes, Nemeka, that is a little bit about myself. I hope I didn't take too much time.
No, good deal, good deal. That's really all it is. To let us all know that it's doable. A lot happens behind the scenes, for you to actually excel. And then sometimes it's not one and done. You kind of like have to, put in the required work. So, Emeka, go ahead. I see you raise your hand. You have a question for us. Go ahead.
It's not a question actually. While Alex was speaking about oil and gas, it's giving me flashback because we're more or
Oh,
less coming from the same industry. So I know what it
oh,
is having to
absolutely.
shift, having to shift from maritime oil and gas and then shift into something entirely different from what you've been doing. So I was just having that nostalgia thought. So people think it's rocket science when people talk about shifting from a non IT background to something like this. But at the end of the day, it's how you persevere that actually, matters. So thank you, Alex, for sharing that.
Oh, absolutely. And the flashback is real for sure. Like I still get like I would say that that experience was, well, it was like I said, it was good for what it's worth. But if you have done it long enough, you would know that you would, even when you are in a different situation, you'd be like, so I actually was doing this for the longest time. So thank you. Thank you for speaking up.
All right, good deal, good deal. I don't see any other questions or any hands raised with questions. So once again, you can raise your hand, ask a question. You can use reactions. Share as much as you can. We are all here to learn, right? We are all here to learn. So the next question we have is, what do you do outside of work to rest and recharge? Because we all know that all work and no play. Makes Jack a dull boy. So how do you balance? It's really work-life balance. How do you do that?
Okay. Actually, like when people talk to me about work-life balance, I have a totally different answer for most times when they ask me this. I think my reason for being so far off, like a big outlier for when this was discussed, was the timing of the question. If you asked me about work-life balance a year ago, I'll probably tell you that work-life balance is a myth, that there is nothing like that. First of all, you have to work first before you seek balance. You have to have work first before you seek balance with. So if you're struggling, to get work, you wouldn't be looking for balance. But I totally agree with you that work-life balance is really important. Um, Currently, from where I am standing, I find that working all the time will not get you closer to your dream, will not get you closer to where you want to go. So to get myself in that situation where I would also be in touch with, you know, family and friends and life, while trying to, put in reps at work, I try to do a few things. Vancouver is really a very interesting place to live, and it kind of helps me to make choices around the things that I could do outside of work. So I find that there's a club called Toastmasters. I know a few people would know about Toastmasters Club. So it's about public speaking, leadership, and career basically. So I find that going for Toastmasters meeting has really helped me, being able to articulate your experiences, even like if something happened in the office, I go on Thursday and I share that experience in a Toastmasters speech. It helps me to really, reflect on how I am actually living my life, and why try and juxtapose that with what people are doing and find that balance. So talking with people in that community has really helped me, to connect with people. Then I try to hike. Also, this is because of where I live. I live very close to very interesting tourist attractions. So on a Saturday like this, which is after this meeting, basically, I try and go to do one hiking trail or the other. Then I try to play tennis as well. I'm trying to get into tennis just as a way of building community of people that I can talk to, because like you said, if you keep working, which is what most people do in North America, if you keep working and not connect or find a way to balance it out, you will be at some point get burnout. Or even if you're just working and making progress in your career, you wouldn't be able to benchmark your success and then be able to put like metrics on, okay, even celebrate wins. You will not be able to do that. So these three things, going for Toastmasters meeting, hiking, and then tennis, I find that they are the things that I'm more drawn to doing outside of work.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Different people, different journey, different experiences. Like I always tell people the reward for hard work is more work. So the work will not stop. You just need to make sure that you you know you're making time for yourself. You have time for your family. You have time for your faith, and then you have time for community. Because I mean, everybody is in a different journey. being able to go, like I say, compare notes. Everybody's going through different things, but there's
Absolutely.
all phases. Just make sure that you don't let it get or sit in your head because it can blow it away. So you have to go out there, nature trails, do stuff, go play soccer, have a good time, because life is life, but you have to make sure that you're part of it, right? Like I said, roll with the punch.
Yes. Yes.
For sure. So I don't see any questions in the chat, but the next one is now coming to the meat and potatoes. So yeah, how do you stay up to date with technology trends, especially now with agentic AI, right? AI and all that kind of stuff. So how do you
Yeah.
keep up? How do you keep up? Thank you.
Okay. We're in a very interesting era. We're in this time where what you know last month is probably obsolete today. Things are changing so fast that we don't even have enough time to digest and articulate the changes before something else comes up. So you have to be. When I talk to a few people that tells me that they have Cisco certification, like, and they want to get into tech, I'm like, really, you want to get into tech with Cisco certification? You better be looking for network administrator position or a hardware solution person position. Even now, things are changing so fast. So you have to be very trendy. You have to change just as fast as the changes are happening. So to do that, I start from social media because that's where most of the changes are communicated unofficially. So I follow Fang, which is the top tech giants. I try to follow all of them just to make sure that I don't lose anything. So first of all, FANG is the acronym for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. So these are the top 5 in the industry first. You have to know what is happening because these are the ones that are pushing the frontiers of technology. They are the ones at the apex of artificial intelligence, which is where the most change is happening. So I follow them on all platforms on social media. Then niching down to ServiceNow, I try to every day be on my PDI. I try to be on ServiceNow University every single day because most of the communications and the changes, you first of all catch it there in the ServiceNow University banners, and belong to communities as well. I have very interesting communities actually. I have, there's a ServiceNow neighborhood on Discord. I find that it's very, very useful. And there is the Nigerian ServiceNow community, very, very useful as well. So all these communities may help to propagate these changes as they happen to help you to understand where the industry is. On LinkedIn as well, very useful tool. You have to follow all the people that that are already occupying the spaces that you're looking to be in, and try and interface with them. Try and interface with their comments, with their posts, because that's how the algorithm brings you closer to whatever it is that they're sharing. So all of these avenues help you to understand where the market is, where the business is going, where technology is going, because you might just be stuck on studying, and you're following one study trail only to find that that particular body of knowledge is already deprecated. It's no news that ServiceNow always you know call some courses obsolete. If you looked for some courses now on ServiceNow University, you wouldn't find it again. They have been modified. There are newer versions of those courses. So what is currently being deprecated, is constantly obsolete. Let me put it that way, for lack of a better word. So you have to find a way to stay trendy and to change just as fast. So all these things, follow them on social media and then belong to communities. I find that is what has worked for me so far, and that is what I have been doing.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. That's the truth. Find your niche. There's a host for getting the inside scoop to what's happening in tech. And unlike our parents' time where the careers were baked in, you could come in there and retire in a place. It's not so no more. Right now,
Yeah,
if you're if you're if you're there, even your company might even let you go without knowing it, because they will just automate most of the stuff, and they'll just one day you will come and they'll tell you you have to look for somewhere else. So
absolutely.
you have to keep on. So the next question we have here is, what's your thought? Training versus certification. What's your take on it? There's that debate that
Yes.
you want to go do training and stuff, or do you want to just certify and just know that okay?
Okay. Yeah, this one is actually a very good one as well. Training versus certification. But what I try to do is to stay away from debates like that, because it's a debate that you would never win, and you should not hope to win that debate, because you can't verify that you are right. Everything is important, training and certification. The way I see it personally is that certifications are the keys to doors for the rooms that you want to be in. They are the keys to open those doors. I'll take, for instance, on my personal journey. I was lucky. Well, there were requirements before I could get into the ServiceNow Rise Up program. There were minimum requirements, so I had a few requirements before I could be accepted. And you should know that the jobs that you're looking for, a lot of persons, you are not the only person applying for positions like that. So if you can put yourself ahead, why not do that? Certifications helps you to get into rooms, but training is what keeps you in that room. You can get lofty certificates, and when you get into a room, you can be lucky enough to be in the room, but you won't be able to stay for very long. Your employer might make the decision to let you go, because you're not that valuable to them. So why I agree that training is very, very important. But if you just keep getting trained without certification, it means there is no assent to your knowledge. It is a time where people don't employ you, don't hire you based on lip service. Well, most people are lucky to get hired based off of recommendation. If you have that, that's really good. Then you are very grounded. You have the requisite training. You have the experience. You have put in the reps. That's very good. Then you have to rely on being recommended by somebody. But it's not all the time that works. So if you are in a market like that of North America, you have to be certified. And if you're going into tech, you have to be certified. That's what opens the doors to the rooms that you want to be in. But training is non-negotiable. So it's a little bit of both, or the two pie is important for the meal that you're trying to consume. Like you can't take one at the expense of the other. Yes, that's how I will put it. And like I said, I try to stay away from debates, because I don't even intend to. My goal is not to win debates, because what if I win and I then become wrong? Then it means that I had not just led myself astray, but a few people that would believe me as well. So both are important, actually. So I would recommend both.
Perfect. The thing is, there's no right contour. That's why I said it's your take.
Yes,
The point is this: what works for you works differently for someone else. So, but a
absolutely.
mix of the both is really important, because whether you like it or not, essentially, like you talked about in you could say that North America, but not even just North America, in advanced economies. If you
Yeah,
don't have those certifications, you can't even get interviewed. So you can't get the foot in the door,
that is the
right?
truth.
Then the experience now is when you get there, what keeps you there? That's your training, that you know it, that you can actually perform the job, right? That keeps you there. So a mix of both is helpful, because you need your profile, you need to be seen and heard, or let them give you the opportunity to now, sell yourself and do stuff. So you said,
Yeah.
what about the experience but little certification?
Okay. experience. I have to also note that because the audience is not, I imagine that not everybody is in North America, so I have to speak generally as well. For those that are for training with little certifications, that is really good because I find that except you are looking for a developer position, and which nobody's going to give you their production environment without certification. That's, well, take that with a pinch of salt. But I think you need that minimum requirement of certification. Let it even be welcome to service now. Let it even be CSA. You know, you may not have all the money for all the certifications. I totally understand that. But have something. It could even be micro certifications, which are for the most part free. You can start with that. There's nobody saying that you should go do, you don't have to go and do all the ITSM certifications first. So that small certificate, that little certificate, as you put it, it's not so little. It shows that you're learning. You can start with that. And most people are able to just do enough to, okay, what I do personally is, for you, everybody knows the job that they are looking for. You may be looking for a business analyst position, you may be looking for a developer, you may be looking for an administrator. So take a sample of opinions in the market, like look out for positions like this. Take 10 of the positions, sample 10 positions, write out all their certificate requirements. You'll be able to answer the questions yourself. So this is where I'm going to. These are the jobs that I've been seeing frequently across industries. This is what they are looking for. So it's not one size fits all for everybody. So what I would advise is, I think that is what I did, which I will come to talk about that, whether you want to niche down. So for where I'm going to, I know I'm going into the item, space. I will not be shooting for item with just CSA. I would be kidding myself. So it depends on where you're going as well. So if you're looking for a business analyst position, you don't have any business doing, item, for instance, So that little certification, the way you put it, it's not so little. It shows that you're learning. It shows that you have traction. It shows that you may not have all the resources to write all of the certifications that are required, but you have something. You have started something. And again, let me just say this: so you don't just learn without certification. The dangers in that is that human retention for knowledge is not it's not very robust. What that means is you can learn from today till next year. And the things that you started with, except you're constantly practicing them, which, who are we kidding? Nobody has all that time. If you keep learning, you're going to keep forgetting what you're learning. Just give yourself 2 weeks outside of that training, you are already forgetting most of those things. But the certification, puts like the stamp in time that, yes, you have done something in this, and it gives people the assent that you are learning as well. Certification authorizes you to speak about the things that you have learned, and tells people that you have actually done this training. So it is now based off of the judgment and the prerogative of your employer to make that decision whether to hire you on or not. So you can start with little certification, 100%. It's not so little. I don't think any certification is little, but start with something. Micro certification, I would advise, because I know a few of my friends, all they work with is micro certifications. ServiceNow is very elaborate. And I think you can do fine with just that. But as soon as you begin to gain traction in your career, please go get all those certifications that will open the doors that you want. They are non-negotiable. Personal opinion.
That's the truth. Take use of all the free ones. Then, as you get into the space to keep you there, make sure you go ahead and get you. I mean, you're earning the big bucks, so I mean, it's your personal development. So if you want to have staying power there, you need to get those things so that the people too will not take you for granted now. And some of them will provide you that as part of your learning. So you should be okay. But great stuff. And that's the truth. Each person has a unique experience. You know where you're targeting or niching to. So just make sure that you have that at the back of your mind while you go ahead to take those pivots and stuff. I don't see any other questions in the chat. But The whole microsets are free. Many of them come with an instance for you to try stuff, whether it's CMDB one, whether it's UI builder, whether it's app dev micro, app dev micro. There's so many, so many. They have been continually changing their names, evolving stuff, changing stuff. They have more than 15 as at now. Before there used to be 12 to 15, I believe, at one point. But there's a lot. It's a lot of niche areas. Even the one, if you want for AI, Gen AI, there's a lot of even executive micro. So go there, go do the thing. Get some of those free stuffs and keep you there. The next one is really good too. It's a good pivot segue from where we are. So I know you started to talk a little bit too about it. So generalize it, or do you specialize? So what's your take? Generalize it,
Yes.
or do you specialize?
Yes. Okay. Generalizing or specializing. Well, I would say that I'm a very good generalist. I'll give you an example. I find it difficult to make up my mind for what to do. That has made me very successful in a few instances, but that has its own demerits as well. So I would say, as you're starting off, be as general as possible, because you can't from start off know what you want. Most people can tell you right off the bat that this is what they want, and then they just keep chasing it, which shortens your journey for the most part. But how about you're not successful in that niche? I think you should be as general as possible. Try your hands in a few things. That's why it's important to start with the CSA, the CSA, and then wait for a bit. Just keep learning until you gain traction. You pick up interest in a particular area, and then you start niching down. Usually, what I would advise is, once you get a CSA, or once you do the preliminary foundational courses on ServiceNow, try and get something in that niche. Try, even if it's an internship, and see if you actually like it. If you don't, try something else. So be as general as possible when you're starting. But once you start gaining traction, try be quick enough to face where you're going, like face head on, niche down, as as specific as possible. So I'll call it a T-shaped career. So the horizontal part is being general, and then the vertical part is niching down. Be very laser focused on where you're going. A few people has given me very good advice as well. They told me to, like, face where you are going, decide where you are going early on, and then face it. But let's be very realistic. Coming from a non-IT background, it's hardly the case that you would understand where you are going. But if you are general enough and you attend a few forum, if you attend enough sessions and you hear people talk about what they do and their experiences, you might like one of them, and then you decide to chase it. And also, when you want to specialize, what I would advise is that specialize in a niche that has demand for, for people like you, for labor. Specialize in a niche that has a lot of opportunities, so that you wouldn't have to struggle when trying to get a job. Because what I find that makes people discouraged in this tech journey is when they don't find opportunities. It doesn't matter what you know. If you don't find opportunities, you're not going to be happy, and then in time you're going to forget everything that you have studied, and it becomes worse if you don't have any certification there. If you want to come back in the future, you have to start from scratch again. So try to being specific is actually very encouraged, because it will shorten your journey, absolutely. But most of the time you don't know where you want to go, so I advise to keep the doors open for everything. Attend as much fora as possible, attend sessions like this as possible, belong to a community, listen to people enough to be able to make an objective decision of where you want to go. Then when you have found that place, if you are convinced that this is where you are going, all of your energy and resources should be focused on that. Don't even look outside the window enough. If you think that there is enough opportunity here, and I like it, I like the job outlook here, I like the career aspiration here, the career ladder is looking good, please niche down, put all your resources there, find mentors in that area, because that is going to keep you laser focused on that journey so that you can come up on top fast enough.
Awesome, awesome stuff. That's the whole game, right? Experience, they say, is the best teacher. So you're coming in there, right? You're coming in there. You want to gain as much experience. So you're coming into IT. All you need is ITIL. Understand that that's for service delivery, service management. You have the Scrum Master certification because most people are deploying Agile, scaled Agile, different flavors of Agile, action program, whatever. And then you have the ServiceNow Certified System Administrator baseline, so that you get a firm understanding, whether you're a business analyst, right? Whether you're a technical consultant or technical analyst, whatever you are, that way you're grounded. Then once you get in, you're coming in as a generalist, get you a job, you see, and get on as much projects that you can do, get the experience you need, and then finally niche out. I mean, like ServiceNow for me, my journey, I started out ITSM, and then I did customer service and HR, and then I started looking at niche into AI, Gen AI, and all that kind of stuff. Deployed, managed, delivered that. But the point is this: that's my own trajectory. But I only advise that because ServiceNow ITSM is the most robust. So getting that knowledge is, it's a plus for you. And then if you're just starting out, it will always give you a job. That's the reason why you say generalists. Imagine working for like customers or consulting firm. They don't niche, right? They will get as much business. They will have almost all the whole platform solution. So you would now be getting on projects, and these projects, some of them are, 3 to 6 months and stuff like that. So you get enough of experience before you now will say, this is where I want to go. And then your education and your experience or your background will tell you, okay, I think this is me. But you need as much experience. If not, if you're narrowing yourself down and go, the platform is huge and the platform is continuing to evolve. So, but when you're starting out, no, you want to get as much experience. The more you know on this platform, the better for that. The more marketable. So don't shy away and say yes. Some of it will be difficult at the beginning for everybody. Especially whether you're doing engineering or whatever, it will be difficult because it's totally different. Different learning curves, different learning experiences. So, but the truth is that you're there for the long game. You're there for the long haul. So don't come and say maybe you failed it the first time. I see what they are doing, the ServiceNow Nigeria community or ServiceNow Nigeria user group. But hey, that's the learning, right? Simple things, right? They look simple because you know it. But the person that don't know it, they don't know it, but they are getting the experience they need. So it's really important. Get you the generalized areas, get as much learning as you can do. Then you niche out. That way you niche out to the area that now you want to be focused on. Because all of this is also cost. So you need to get the experience, get you on a project so that way you can pay your bills. You're paying your bills because it's all about paying your bills, right? So whatever it is, I remember I was talking to a master architect recently when I was interviewing. He told me, hey, I told him, so what makes you want to come to work every day? He said, my G, do you know what the truth is? My bills are going to be paid. I need to come here and get this work. And I laughed. And that's the truth. Because first of all, you need to get not just to provide for your family, provide for yourself. Yes. So if you say, okay, maybe you're in ITOM and then they don't have an ITOM job, you'll be on the bench. And in some kind of companies, they'll throw you away. I mean, like right now, with even the way the economy is really constricted, you can't be on the bench in a company where they are paying you huge bucks. They'll let you go because these companies don't want to lose money like that. They'll let you go because they're also looking for contracts and code. But if they don't win all the contracts coming to your ITOM area, it doesn't mean that you run away. So, I mean, hey, one thing is there with the CSA, it's a building block. Every other thing you understand it. It's just like doing the ITSM, it's a building block. Every other thing you should understand it. The only thing is that it will just take you some time. You'll be referring to the document. ServiceNow has provided a lot of that. Whether it's the customer success, whether it's the product document, whether it's a resource center, There's a host of stuff. Even like me now, I was telling, I even was in a coding interview recently. I've not had to write every code from scratch in a long minute. But I just go there and copy templates and I go edit it because I know I've been doing it and I teach people this thing. So, but can I write it? Yes, I can. It just takes a bit because I don't do it every day again. But at that beginning time, yes, my head is hot. I do write everything. I bring it from my head. But I'm not doing that now. I'm not. You didn't just finish college yesterday or uni or something like that. No. So you have a lot of things to succeed. So,
Absolutely.
but put you on the spot. Get as much experience you can. Get as much experience. That will help you in the long haul. It will help you. To help you. Let's say you don't have an opportunity, then they throw you one. They would say like, "Hey, we have this one here. Are you able to go?" Yeah, it's not my strength. Like I was telling somebody, I'm not a portal person. I'm not a UI builder person. But now I have to go look at them. I had to go look at them. It's very important. But for me, if I have other opportunities, I won't take. I can do it. I can provide this thing and troubleshoot it, do whatever is needed. I will not do it as my first thing. But if it's the only job, I'll go and do it now because it's important. You know, I have to pay for my family stuff. I have to get paid. So please don't. Yes, it will be you have difficulty. You do learning. You do more research, but it's better for you in the long run. It's better to keep you there.
I actually have a story for this. You know,
Okay, go ahead.
I have a friend. I have a few friends here that are in tech because that's what I did when I wanted to branch off to tech.
Mhm.
I first of all started making friends. So this guy is a senior software developer in a startup.
Mhm.
So of course, he has reps in development,
Sure.
but not in
Okay.
ServiceNow, right? Software
Okay.
developer full on. His tech
Full
stack is
stack. Okay.
usually,
Okay.
yes, he has
Stuff. Okay.
he
Good.
writes JavaScript most of the time. So the startup, their primary delivery application took a nosedive at some point, which means that they weren't getting business anymore.
Mhm.
The CEO felt that instead of closing down this business, let's branch off. So they started platform as a service just on the side. But this guy is very dynamic. Whilst he was doing his full stack work, he started taking courses in ServiceNow, he started taking courses in Salesforce even. He got certified in Salesforce, got certified in ServiceNow. A few of those, he was doing it just on the side. So I find that this is a very good knowledge for me. So whilst you're moving in your career, it doesn't matter where you are, you have to be very, very humble. What that means is you can't be so accomplished in a career. You have to be thinking of what could happen. So
Mhm.
because he had all of these trainings and the company's business took a nosedive and they decided to do platform as a service, he was very, very good in IT service delivery. He was the person that they had to rely on because he was doing that anyway while on his full stack job.
Mhm.
So while the trajectory changed, he had the requisite knowledge and, well, not so formal experience, but of course he has put in some reps. He has certification even. He told them, okay, I can do this. He was even the one charting the course for the new direction that the CEO decided that they follow. So the reason I'm saying this is while you are trying to be as niche as possible, which is very good, it makes you an authority in your field. Try to also, you know, be like a renaissance in knowledge, like have an understanding of what other people are doing. If you have a direction, try to open the window once in a while and see what is out there, just in case. You never know where this can throw you. Just try to be very dynamic and be very, and you can only do this if you're very humble in your journey, such that you know that anything can happen. We're not praying that anything bad happens, but it's just a side note. It's not what most people will tell you. So you can be very dynamic and move across board if the need comes. I just wanted to say that, especially, yeah, that is what I would expect to hear if I'm starting off and if I'm in an environment like Nigeria. I would want to have as much as much arrows in my quiver so that anywhere the tide turns, I would be ready to set sail.
Like a scout. Be ready. Born ready. Ready to
Yeah.
go. Ready to go. Yeah, I think that there's no other questions in the chat. Do we have anyone that wants to ask Alex a question. We've been gracious to have him. The last one is your words of advice that's there, but no other questions in the chat. So so you take us home. Tell us a thing or two. What like I said, grateful that you're sharing your experience. It's all co-sharing, co-learning, open for everything that's coming, what's new, what's next. There's a lot of learning, especially with AI. Go in there, go immerse yourself. Go do stuff. Go do stuff.
Okay.
So go
Okay.
ahead.
For me, I don't think I'm in a very good position to, like I told you, Nemeka, I don't think I'm in a very good position to be advising people. I find it weird, but yes, let's have a go at it. So what I would advise, I would make this as close, relatable as possible. Let's say I'm in Nigeria, and what would I advise myself if I was in Nigeria and I was trying to make a switch to IT? Okay, before I even say that, let's even start from there. What I would do is try and throw myself into communities. You are safer in communities, just like the Nigerian ServiceNow communities that most of us already belong in. You are very safe there. That is your beginning point and begin to make connections. You cannot, 90% of the jobs that I've gotten are through connections, are through referrals. While you are trying to be good and technically savvy in what you are doing, try to make connection, try to talk with people. If you have an interview, I know I've reached out to a few people when I had an interview. I've only had 2 interviews in ServiceNow ecosystem. I've only applied to 5 jobs because I don't want to rush the process. I've had 2 interviews. And when I had those interviews, I spoke to people and they actually gave me perspective. So don't think you are so smart. It comes back to being very humble in your journey. You can never be too smart. You can never be smarter than people that are ahead of you. Well, some people are cognitively uh, different. You can be smart in your own right, but in the journey that you are in, don't assume yourself so smart. There are people ahead of you. Talk to them. Have like that connection, that community where you would informally contact somebody and they tell you 1 or 2. It will give you clarity. That's number 1. Number 2, be very active on LinkedIn. If I was in Nigeria, I'll be very active on LinkedIn. Now, nobody is, this is, the world is, I don't want to, but for lack of a better term, it's a dog eat dog world. Nobody is here to pamper you. You have to be, yes, you have to carry yourself. You have to know that nobody is going to leave their journey to come and fight your own battles for you. Nobody's going to do that. At the end of the day, it is you against as many people that are chasing the same thing as you. So what I would advise is be very, very visible. If you can make yourself visible, if people know your name, it doesn't matter if you don't have what you need yet, but if you have that visibility, LinkedIn will give you visibility. Try and be in people's business. What that means is if people make a post, repost if you can, try to comment as much as you have time. And I would say this, if I was in Nigeria, I would actually be in a much better place because in Nigeria, you are not facing so much pressure. I wish you are making this switch in a country like Canada or America, or if you are in a city like you are in a country like the UK, for instance, you would be in so much more pressure to make this happen fast enough. But you're in Nigeria, you don't have so much pressure, you have time, leverage on time, people, resources. So what I would do, apart from putting myself out there on LinkedIn, I will put in so much reps. I'll take in so much courses. If you look at my ServiceNow University, I study everything. The amount of time I put on ServiceNow University, I was talking to Nemega the other time. Say, I have no other thing to do. Once I come back, I'm already on my laptop. I've never been on any call that's if you were a video call, what they will always say is that you're always on your computer. I don't know anything else, especially for this season. I'm trying to build competence. So if I was in Nigeria, what my ServiceNow University would be my go-to social media. Try and learn as much as possible, as fast as possible, rinse and repeat to the point where you become very conversant with, you're able to make communication, you're able to articulate what you know. Again, I think that's the point we didn't touch so much. So I'll just take a minute to talk about that. Being able to talk about what you know is more important than knowing a lot of things. Being able to communicate what you know. I find that in the corporate environment, the people that make progress faster are people that are able to talk the job, not necessarily people that do, people that the foot soldiers. Knowing what to do is really important, but you find that when you begin to Apex and Plato, the people that are actually at the top of the food chain are people that are very, very conversational. They're able to drive solutions based off of their conversation. They may not be the top notch when it comes to technical savvy, but they are able to steer the direction. So be able to articulate. That's why I belong to clubs like Toastmasters. You may want to check it out. It helps you to articulate what you know. You may know a lot of things, but you find that that's what I struggled with. I find that it was difficult for me to say the things that I know. And I tell you, it's going to harm your career if you don't make a very drastic, change in this area. Try and improve your communication, improve your people skills, improve your soft skills. Most employers would rather employ a good fit rather than a very technical person. And let's face it, this service now job, not to berate anybody's job, but it's not rocket science. If they can hire you and teach you to mastery if you have the will. So what is important is your people skill, your soft skill, your being able to work in team, and all those things. Those are the things I'll focus on first of all. Put myself in people's faces, belong to community, contribute in the community. I see that in ServiceNow Nigerian community, there are lots of people there, but make sure that your name is always coming up based off of communication. People can know you. If you have enough time, please try and, when people are making, whatever it is that they are posting, try and communicate, try and, contribute to it essentially. So you're studying, if you find something interesting, try and share it, and talk about it. And have mentors, have people's phone number that you can, even if it's not, you're not going to bother them, but if you are in that point where you need to talk to somebody, have people that you can talk to. You are as good as the person that you're following. You can't see further than the person that you're looking to be like. I'll put it that way. So when I was starting off, I had a few people that I could call. So I think that I'm still in the journey. Let me not sound cocky. Currently I'm still studying even today. I'm still in that journey. I know a few people that are already in places where I want to be. I have them on speed dial. I call them, and these are the things that I would want to do. I would not worry so much about trying to get the Apex certifications right now. Speaking like I'm in Nigeria right now, I will not worry about that so much. But the basic ones, I'll try and do justice to them. I'll try and get, the primary certifications that Nemeka has talked about. Try and do ITIL as well. Try and do all those primary foundational certifications. And well, apart from that, you would try your luck. Try and actually apply for jobs. Make it a point of duty to apply for jobs. Even though you don't match the certifications that they require, try and apply for them. With time, with so much failures, with so much rejections, there's always going to be one time where you would catch your break. Try and apply for a lot. Don't be like me when it comes to applying for jobs, especially in this space. I think the reason why I haven't been applying is because I'm trying to build mastery in this particular role. And in the roles that I've been in, I don't want to I don't want to try hop off, because I almost actually got the job that I interviewed for, except that the move was not really important for me at the time. It was so far off and I didn't want to do that. So I would advise that try and apply for jobs and try and ask people for recommendation. If you want to apply for jobs, what you would do, or what I do, is I look for people on LinkedIn that are already in that industry, in that company, and I ask them to recommend me. So that helps to bridge the gap. If you want to apply for a job, if you find a job that is interesting to you and you find somebody that works there, please message them first before throwing in your application. It shortens your journey, and it creates credibility in the eyes of your employer that at least someone that understands, that knows you, is recommending you. So those are the things that I can remember right now that I will point you towards. Like I said, I am still in the journey, and everything that I'm telling you, I'm telling myself, and I'm going to go back and watch this. I'm sure Nemeka will send it across. I'm going to go back and watch this as well. So I would, take to swallow my own medicine as well. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. So it's been a pleasure to be here and to belong to this community. Thank you, Nemeka, for all that you do. You have no idea how this has helped me and how this has helped a lot of people as well, especially being able to come back every week, to talk about your journey, to talk about, it creates that consciousness that you're actually chasing something. Because let's face it, you can easily get frustrated in the journey if you're not getting calls, if you're not getting the job, but being in a forum like this, you know that you're not alone. People will come talk about their experience, and that helps you to pick up steam as well. Don't stop studying. Don't stop studying. ServiceNow University, make it your go-to social media platform. And in time, success does not show up in a minute. But as Steve Jobs would say it is only in looking back that you can connect the dots. When you are doing what you are doing right now may not make so much sense to you, but when you look at the whole picture in retrospect, you'll be able to connect the dots. So I wish you all the best. And however insignificant what you are doing right now may seem to you, I assure you that it is not. In the grand scheme of things, it makes sense. And don't stop doing what you are doing. Trust the process. And I hope you catch your break soon enough. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Alex. So you see the problem that we always have is we want to hide in our corner. So Alex, I remember I had to go pull Alex because he was like he's not in the best
Yes,
mind to
so
come and share with us. But like I always explain is we're all in this together. Your journey, I learned from it, you learn from it, right? You share it. That's really why we're here. I mean, there is nobody that has a monopoly to this knowledge. And then, like you talk about, even me, I remember my wife. There was a time when, just like you were talking about, I would always, once we do prayers, all I do is just go in there, and then I'm on that ServiceNow University. That there was a time when she would
yes.
just be complaining. So that just it. So don't say your own is the word. No, there's a time for it. But once you hit that break, or you'll be good. You'll be good. It's you're there for the long game. So and we are grateful that you're coming to share your experience. We're all here to learn. There is no perfect timing if you're waiting for a perfect time, even to put yourself out there or engage on LinkedIn or share your knowledge. It's like I tell people, whatever you know, you share it. You're learning it the second time. You're multiplying the way you're learning it by sharing it, and then being able to speak, network with people. Be open to whatever feedback, because feedback is a food, is a gift, right? It will enable you to refine, and that's also being agile and nimble. Continuous learning, continuous growth mindset. We're all there together. We are co-sharing, lifting each other up as we go through this together. A couple of minutes, the videos will be hide. We'll share it in the community. We do have upcoming session, the third Saturday. That's a product deep dive. More than likely, we'll have a practitioner come in, and then they should share about the products they've been working on, and then give us a high level demo. That way, we can also ask those questions. I would also share Alex's contact, so that way you can send him an email, connect with him, and then connect with him via LinkedIn also. It's very important. We are all rooting for ourselves. We are all in our own corners together, pushing this thing together. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing your Saturday with us. Enjoy the rest of it. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.